Chicago police say 7 people were shot in the Bronzeville neighborhood. We're told a group of people were standing outside around 11 o'clock last night when a car drove by and someone fired into the crowd. The victims include 5 women and 2 men ranging in age from 28 to 32 years old. All were shot in their lower half of their bodies. They were taken to the hospital and all of them are expected to be okay.
Shout out to the Chicago police officers. I know that you guys are disgusted right now. Not because you get to work all of the overtime that you want to work amidst the budget crisis, because they have a shortage of over 2,000 police officers. And that's partly because they want to make sure that they lower crime as much as they possibly can before the federal takeover comes inside of Chicago. And there's plenty of people that are advocating for the Trump takeover to come into Chicago because they live in this inner city and they are not one of the liberals that live on the outskirts of Chicago where they don't have a lot of violent crime, but they are still considered liberal. And so they go out and they get their lattes and they Starbucks and all of this stuff. Not those people, not the people that come into the city in order to protest and then leave the city at night and then have every resident on the south side. And this shooting that just happened right around a block from the police station. No, not the people that had a 5-year-old just a couple days ago get shot inside of Chicago. No, none of those people. And the mayor is saying that they don't want any help. They're saying that they don't want Trump's help. They don't want Trump's help after they've seen the results. And Mayor Bowser over in D.C. say that they actually like the fact that it's hardly no carjackings and it's hardly no deaths, and the places that would usually have drug dealers and a whole lot of homeless people, now that place has been cleaned up for regular people and pedestrians to be able to go back and forth and do whatever it is that they do. No, not any of those people, right? And so this, over Labor Day weekend in Chicago, right, is the norm. Drive-by shooting. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to classify this as violent crime because nobody actually died. But more importantly, here's the thing. They haven't caught the shooter. They don't know who the shooter is. They just got away. It's not really that big of a deal. And lower, thank God that the shooter, who probably had a switch because they hit 7 people, which include 5 women, 5 women in their prime childbearing years. Thank God that the shooter was only aiming low because it hit everybody on the low instead of hitting everybody in their upper, which would probably cause a much more fatal situation. But yes, in Chicago, it is in shambles and shooters are shooting, and it's only the beginning of the weekend because this just happened last night, and so we're starting to get reports of the new shootings later. It's crazy, isn't it? Isn't it crazy how you can predict that this was going to happen despite the fact that the Trump administration has already announced that they were coming to Chicago?
Good evening, and thanks for being with us and spending part of your Sunday here with CBS News Chicago. I'm Marie Saavedra. We begin with a breaking news update on what was a violent night for Chicago police. 5 women and 2 men were hurt in a mass shooting that was right outside of police headquarters. Our Sade Gray.
Now, let me say this before we deep dive into this particular article, okay? They don't like to classify these things as mass shootings. It has to be a church. It has to be a Catholic school like over in Minneapolis. It has to be probably a white person in order for this to really be classified as a mass shooting. But mass shootings in the hood is pretty regular for the people that grew up in the hood and is still in the hood and don't want things to be changed or gentrified because they would like for their place to stay exactly like it is because that's all they know. It's the only thing that they've ever seen before. But mass shootings are normal in the hood. It's only mass to the people that is not used to being there. But let's continue.
He explains that wasn't the only incident.
A mass shooting happened right across the street from the Chicago Police Department headquarters parking lot. The cleanup process is now underway. The city's street sweepers clean up a mess that resulted in several people shot.
We got some down in the curb down this way, too.
Fire crews also called out to clean up blood-stained cement. Police say 7 people were shot in the 3500 block of South State Street, just around the corner from Chicago Public Safety Headquarters, around 11 Saturday night. Police say a vehicle with multiple men inside went down the block, and at least one of the men opened fire on a crowd. Maddie Curry heard the gunshots.
All this pop, pop, pop. They lit up on that side just like.
Now, should this old woman that lived to see the age that she is, should she be subjected to such trauma this late in her life? Should this old woman possibly have stray bullets going by back and forth? And look at this tree-lined street. This is supposed to be a safe space. This happened right across the street from a police station. Would you want your grandmother to have this happening at her block?
Like Christmas time coming. These cars just lit up. They were all behind each other. All these shooting and shooting. I'm thinking it's 4th of July.
All 7 people were shot and taken to the hospital in good condition. A few hours later, police say 3 men were shot in the Pilsen neighborhood. They were standing outside in the 1900 block of West 17th Street when someone came up and shot them all. 2 men were shot in the leg and are expected to be okay, but a 46-year-old man was struck multiple times in the body and died.
What did I tell you? Listen, this is all one night. This is all one night. This is not like, across 3-4 months or anything like that. This is all one night, bro. Hit a couple in the leg, got them all, but hit a couple in the leg, and hopefully they survive. And then the other guy, he just dead.
Only person shooting, caller says people have been shot. Nothing further.
So far, 5 have been killed and 31 people hurt during this Labor Day weekend. Over the past 2 years, violence has gone down for the holiday. In 2023, 8 people were killed and 41 were hurt. Last year, 5 died and 26 were injured. 3rd Ward Alderman Pat Dow says in a statement, "We need to properly resource communities like ours in the 3rd Ward. I have long asked for additional police manpower to deal with large illegal gatherings and pop-up parties that routinely occur throughout the Bronzeville neighborhood." No one.
Wait a minute. She wants more police. She says, I have long asked for additional police manpower to deal with the large illegal gatherings that pop up, parties that routinely occur throughout the Bronzeville. So she wants more police that they don't have the capability of providing. Got it.
And pop-up parties that routinely occur throughout the Bronzeville neighborhood. No one has been arrested in any of the shootings over the Labor Day weekend. Reporting in Bronzeville, Sade.
Nobody has been arrested. Let me emphasize that, because that's another caveat that we want to throw out there that they don't want to acknowledge. 0 arrests, multiple people dying, multiple people getting shot, lots of crime taking place inside of Chicago, but 0 arrests. 0, bro. This is crazy. Over in Washington, D.C., they've been arresting people. They done got hundreds of guns off the street, thousands of arrests. Very, very, very few situations where they actually had a problem. Nobody is sitting there and complaining about National Guard or the police brutality. People can walk in their neighborhoods. Wouldn't it have been nice to experience this in Chicago? But no, you got the people like Chicago Flips Red. Shout out to my friends over there, Danny and them. You got the people saying, listen, we need more police presence, but you have the actual mayor saying we are going to do everything that we can to try to fight the Trump administration from coming into Chicago and making a difference and making sure that they keep the streets safer. Wouldn't it have been nice for somebody to have been able to extend their life by having a larger police presence instead of them trying to monetize crime over there in Chicago? Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'll let you guys later. Peace.